What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Sunday, August 27th, 2023, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now, it is 12:52 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have Tropical Storm Idalia setting its sights on Florida. It's expected to turn into a weak hurricane as of right now, although that forecast could change. And they have this thing making landfall somewhere along the Florida panhandle around the Tallahassee area. So, this is the latest forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center as of 11 a.m. this morning. And right now it has sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. And just yesterday evening, it was a tropical depression. It was Tropical Depression 10, and now it's already a tropical storm. And we do know that the Gulf of Mexico is extremely warm right now. The water temperatures are very warm. And historically, anytime a tropical system enters the Gulf of Mexico, it usually rapidly intensifies. That's what happened with Hurricane Katrina and many other hurricanes. So we have to keep an eye on this thing. Right now, they have just a Category 2 or Category 1 hurricane making landfall somewhere where the Florida panhandle meets the western side of Florida. Okay, right in this bend over here. Okay, that's where they have the landfall, but that could change. And the National Hurricane Center says that it's still too soon to specify exact location and magnitude, but they're saying 72 hours from now, 7 a.m. Wednesday, this system is going to have 90 mile per hour winds, and it's going to be right off the coast of Florida. Okay, so that's like a weak Category 2 or a strong Category 1. Let me read to you the latest information from the National Hurricane Center. The depression is forecast to become a hurricane over the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and there is an increasing risk of life-threatening storm surge, flooding from heavy rainfall, and hurricane-force winds along portions of the west coast of Florida and the Florida Panhandle beginning as early as Tuesday. Although it is too soon to specify the exact location and magnitude of these impacts, residents in these areas should monitor updates to the forecast, have their hurricane plan in place, and follow any advice given by local officials. Storm surge and hurricane watches may be required for portions of the Gulf Coast of Florida later today. The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, declared a state of emergency in 33 Florida counties. Okay, that is huge. So I'm going to monitor this situation and keep you guys updated if there's anything that changes with this forecast. And as the storm progresses and gets closer to Florida, I will be updating you guys and monitoring everything. So stay tuned to this channel for updates on Idalia. I wanted to give you guys an update on the situation in Ukraine and some of the world news. So, an investigative committee in Russia confirmed the deaths of Prigozhin, Utkin, and all of the people on Prigozhin's plane through DNA matching. Okay, so that was just confirmed not too long ago. All right, Russia had an investigative committee look into the death of Prigozhin and the founder of Wagner and some of the top Wagner commanders that were all on a plane heading to St. Petersburg from Moscow, and it mysteriously crashed in the Tver region of Russia. And so the investigative committee is now saying that they matched genetic material from the bodies to existing genetic material that they had, and they confirmed the death of Prigozhin and Utkin, the founder of Wagner. So that is absolutely huge news. We don't know if that's true or not, of course. Somebody left a picture of Prigozhin under the monument to the victims of political repression in Tver. And this is that monument right here. This is the area of Russia where the plane went down. And it may not seem like a big deal, but whoever put this picture of Prigozhin there could go to jail if they get caught. So clearly, a lot of people in Russia like Prigozhin. What's interesting is there's this video clip coming out from one of Prigozhin's rants in the springtime, and he says that a plane will fall in midair if things in Russia don't change. So he basically says, "You better kill me, but I won't lie. I have to be honest. Russia is on the brink of disaster. If these cogs are not adjusted today, the plane will fall apart in midair." So I don't know if that's like foreshadowing or some kind of code phrase, code words, or if this just a weird coincidence. But who knows? Maybe he faked his own death. Maybe NATO helped him do that. Maybe he had a deal with NATO, and NATO said, listen, Prigozhin, if you go to Moscow, we're gonna give you immunity from prosecution, and we'll let you go to Africa and stay there the rest of your life, or some other country. A couple of days ago, I reported that one of Prigozhin's planes went to Azerbaijan. Okay, and why would one of Prigozhin's planes go to Azerbaijan the day after his one of his planes crashed, supposedly with him on it? So I don't know what to make of this situation. Very strange. We also have a strange situation in Romania. Apparently, there were two huge explosions at Romanian petroleum fuel stations. One person was killed and dozens were injured. And this was at liquefied petroleum gas stations. 46 people were injured after two blasts. One person died. 26 firefighters were injured. And one of the explosions was near the capital of Bucharest on Saturday evening. And then shortly after, there was a second blast that sent a mushroom cloud billowing into the sky, rocking the forecourt of Crevedia. Authorities said at least 8 of the injured had been severely burnt. They plan to send 4 to hospitals abroad. People within a 700-meter radius have been evacuated from the area. Absolutely crazy, guys. 2 of these big explosions in Romanian fuel terminals or fuel storage sites, very suspicious in my opinion, considering that, Romania is right next to Ukraine and fuel is a very important commodity in a war. Okay. So maybe the Russian agents did this. I don't know. We also have some breaking news coming from Poland with regards to those trains that were stopped. I reported on this the other day. So the Polish police have already detained 2 men that they think are responsible for these emergency broadcasts over Polish train frequencies. And so the men were aged 24 and 29, and Polish police found a bunch of amateur radio equipment in their apartment, and they were detained in the northeastern Polish city of Białystok. And what's interesting is 2 more of these emergency signals were broadcasted yesterday and 3 today. And those were broadcasted in the northeastern part of Poland, while the ones that were broadcasted Friday were broadcasted in northwestern Poland. But basically, if you missed my update, what happened is that these 2 guys figured out the frequencies used by Polish rail workers and the drivers of the trains, and they broadcasted an emergency signal using amateur radio equipment on those frequencies, because those frequencies are not encrypted, so anybody can connect to, not connect, but as long as you know the frequency, you can broadcast on it. And they broadcasted an emergency stop signal, and all of the workers of the Polish trains received that signal in northwestern Poland and also northeastern Poland, and they stopped all of the trains. And so obviously that caused a major disruption. And in addition to that, they played the Russian national anthem and clips of one of Putin's speeches. Okay, so very, very interesting. I don't know if these guys are Russian agents or sympathizers, Polish guys that are sympathizers of Russia. It's hard to say at this point, but they have been arrested. So, very good job by the Polish police there, very quickly capturing these people. We also have some breaking news that Ukrainian drones attacked a Russian military airport in Kursk, which is in southwestern Russia, last night, and 5 fighter jets and 3 radars were hit by these drones. And so this is being reported by various Ukrainian sources. They're saying that the attack was carried out by officers of the military counterintelligence of the 13th Main Directorate. Air defense equipment and part of the Russian air fleet were there at the time of the attack, according to preliminary findings. 4 Sukhoi 30 fighter jets and 1 MiG-29 fighter jet were destroyed, and an S-300 radar complex and 2 Panzer radars were destroyed. So that's pretty significant, guys. Apparently 16 drones were sent to the Russian airport, and 3 of them were shot down by air defense, Russian air defense. So that's pretty huge news. Now, in addition to the situation with Romania and then also in Poland with the trains stopping and the Russian anthem playing, we also have a weird situation in Rzeszów, Poland, which is the city in Poland where all of Western military equipment is going through to Ukraine. There's a major international airport there used by NATO and America to move Western equipment into Ukraine. So it's a hub. And there's been an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease. 7 people have died and 113 people have been infected. The local Rzeszów city officials had a crisis meeting this past Thursday, and they decided on a chlorine and ozone disinfection of more than 620 miles of water mains around the city that will take place on Saturday, which was yesterday. Authorities have instructed residents to let tap water rest, to lose some of the chlorine, and then to boil it before drinking. They assured that the chlorine levels to be used will be safe for humans. And Legionnaire's disease is a lung infection that comes from inhaling infected water spray, not through drinking water. It is usually caught in places like hotels, hospitals, or offices where the bacteria have gone into the water supply. For example, in air conditioning systems or taps and showers that are not in frequent use. Okay, so is it possible that Russian agents deployed Legionnaire's disease into Rzeszów? I think it's very likely. So this is crazy, guys. The war is starting to expand beyond Ukraine into other neighboring countries, and of course, about a month ago, Russia hit those grain silos in Ukraine, right on the border of Romania, and some Romanian ships were damaged in that missile strike. So the war is expanding, guys. Okay, get prepared. Things are just continuing to escalate, and we currently have a sub-hunter plane patrolling the Romanian Black Sea coast, and they're maintaining 24-hour coverage here with these P-8 Poseidons. Okay, these are American sub-hunter planes. They can deploy sono buoys into the water, and these sono buoys can send out sonar into the water and send information back to the plane to tell the plane if there's any submarines underwater, and then this plane can fire harpoon missiles into the water to destroy any submarine they find. And there was just a P-8 Poseidon that was patrolling that area that was relieved by another one. You can see This one was patrolling this morning, and it landed at Sigonella, which is a U.S. Air Force base in Sicily, and it was relieved by this one here. So they're maintaining 24-hour coverage here, which is very, very interesting. And we do know that some of the grain shipments have restarted, but what they're doing is they're hugging the Romanian and Bulgarian coastlines when they go into the ports in Ukraine. They hug the coast here. Okay, the Romanian coast and the Bulgarian coast, they come up like this, and then they go to the ports here in the Odessa region to get the grain. So very interesting situation there. But that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I'll keep you updated on the situation with Tropical Storm Idalia. I'll probably do another update later on this evening, and I'll keep you guys updated on the situation in Ukraine. But make sure you guys are getting prepared. The situation is continuing to escalate in Eastern Europe. The war is starting to spill over outside of Ukraine, and it's just going to get worse and worse. So take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.